but it's their prerogative to do that. If they want Doug, it's their prerogative to do that because he gets things done. Okay? It's not a problem. It's not a problem. If they resign, it's great. If we recall them, it's great. And then I don't mind if the same 4 people get back on. But let them get back on legitimately, and that's the purpose of the recall. Okay? So well, stop clapping because you don't count. This is not an election. Oh, that's enough. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
There's no money involved here. I am paying for the recall, so there's no election involved. Okay? If we can get it amongst everybody here, and they can sign these petitions, okay, and then they can go see their friends and get them to sign petitions. Possibly, I'll only have to send out 200 or 300 letters to people who aren't here, who know the people who are here that said they should do it. So there's no expense to the village because we're not talking about a vote. All we're doing is talking about a recall. We're not talking about a vote. If we recall them, then the new board will appoint the people who they want to work with. That's how simple it is. Okay, so this is what I call a recall.
Reasons for a recall. Reasons. List your reasons with the facts.
Fine. The simple reason is because they were not elected. They were appointed, and they're allowed. They're allowed. I understand. But then I ran for election the next year. I did because Scott was busy stuffing the ballots. Okay. All right. Listen. All right. Look. That is. Yeah. If you can't control yourself, all right, you can talk. You can talk. Just keep quiet. That is the truth. What is that truth?
Scott did that 2 years after you.
Fine, but Scott was on the board all the time. Scott was on the board all the time, and Scott, I'm sure. All right, so that's what I call a recall based on principle. We don't dislike Doug. We don't dislike Terry. We don't dislike Dan. We don't dislike anybody. All we want is a fair shake for the board. That's all. All righty? Now, we have another recall that I have. And that recall is for cause. Okay? And I've been dealing with it and postponing it. But now we're at the point, because of the challenge, the Douglas Myers challenge, okay, I'm unhappy with a treasurer who will lie to the ownership and sit here at the board, which we have on tape, okay, just like we're taping this, and that gentleman said to us assembled, very late, but he did say that he was the buyer of 2 units. And then he wrote to me, months later that he wasn't the buyer, he was the nominee. So at the meeting, he was the buyer, and later on, he wasn't the buyer. You can't afford to have somebody that can sign checks be on the board if he can lie directly to ownership that he owns and then he says he doesn't own. Look, I have no problem with Eddie. He's a smart fella, but I have a problem with someone who can't tell the truth. Okay, that's a problem, and I try my best not to run into that. Okay, so that is the other recall if we have to. And let me just give you the scenario here.
Make it long.
I'm going to have 2 recalls because if you recall if you recall a majority of the board, you need to name the replacements. If you recall a minority of the boards, you don't. And since we want the new properly elected people to choose the people they want to work with, 1 recall is for the 4 people. And if we're successful, they'll be off the board. Okay, and then the new board can appoint them. After that is when I'm going to give the papers to recall Edwin. We're going to sign everything now, if you feel that way. If you feel that way. And this is the last thought. This recall ballot is really, really good. Okay, it's simple and good. You choose to recall or to retain. If for some reason you can't find in your heart to recall someone that's been doing what Terry Tresigny is doing, you can check off retain. And we won't recall him. And the next board is going to be stuck with him. Okay? But that's up to you. That's up to you. That's up to you. So Terry tells me that he feels everybody wants him to be on the board, and I don't know if he's embarrassed or whatever, he doesn't want to be on a recall petition. But to me, it's great for him, because if you folks feel that Terry should not be recalled, all you do is check off that you don't want to recall him, and he's going to be retained. So it's no embarrassment. In fact, it's an election out of my pocket for Terry, and Terry can go around and say, look, this one was recalled, but I was retained. And that's fine. I might myself. I don't know what I would do. I haven't made my decision. But I think it's important to give the ownership the opportunity to recall people who were appointed by the last elected candidates or board members, and let the new elected board members select the people they want to work with. That is my reason for this meeting. I'm open to suggestions. If there's some people that come to me and said, only do these people and this. It didn't make any sense to me, because then we're just picking out people maybe we don't like or whatever. This recall is based on a principle that we don't like appointed candidates to go into the next term. And I think that's something all of us can agree. Okay, I'm all done. Thank you. I think that, thank you. Charlie Fitzpatrick asked to speak after I did so. But everybody has an opportunity. Anyone can leave whenever they want, and it's an open forum.
You don't mind if I sit and have a bad knee? I prepared a little statement, and please bear with me. The statement that I've written basically is my opinion, and is based on the truth that I understand it. I'm just going to put on my glasses so I can read my own handwriting. I'm here today not as a board member, but like you, a concerned unit owner. Whether I agree or not that a recall effort should be done is not important, for it is the will of the unit owners to decide. However, I strongly disagree that Terry Tracini should be put on the list. This is a good man who has thrown his heart and soul into making a village a better place to live. Because of Terry, we are emerging from the dark ages. In the short time that he's been on the board, and more as a short time as president, the village is a more beautiful, with landscaping, the long-needed repairs. He has directed the upgrading of the building interiors, pushed hard to get our pool and spa areas up to code, made sure we had some social dinners and parties. He understands, and he lobbied hard to get a water conservation program started. He demanded a complete overhaul of our financials, and today, because he selected the right people, we have balanced the books, put into place a clear and concise, open to all recording system, and created a financial watchdog to make sure all is in the up and up. He has reorganized the office into a more efficient operation and has allowed free access to any information we asked for, and made sure we had free and open elections. For all this, we shouldn't condemn this man. We should throw him a party. We should rally around him and give him our full support, and be grateful that he took on the task of being president. Many centuries ago, the Roman Mark Antony, after the assassination of Julius Caesar, addressed his fellow citizens and said, "I've come here not to praise Caesar, but to bury him." Today I say I've not come here to bury Tracini, but to praise him. I am proud to call him my friend. Thank you.
I'd like to speak.
Look, get up, right here. Raise your microphone. Here you go. Ed, I think Ed can speak.
All I want to do is, first of all, as usual, Mr. Jerry Merrill speaks, but he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to rules and regulations.
That's all.